It was a cold winter morning on the streets of Chicago. A man in tattered clothes, covered in dust and regret, approached a woman outside a bakery, asking for food. She looked him up and down, and then, "Get away from me, you stink." She spat the words like venom. But what no one knew was that under those filthy clothes hid one of the world's most famous celebrities. And that moment, it would become the turning point in 3 lives. Because the person who chose kindness without knowing who he was would soon be rewarded in a way that would make headlines across the world. It was supposed to be a normal day. The kind of day where people wake up, grab a coffee, ignore strangers, and go on pretending the world isn't full of pain. But on this day, a man named Nick decided to test something real. For weeks, he'd been exhausted from fame, from cameras, from fake smiles and forced interviews. So, dressed in old jeans, a heavy hoodie, and a fake beard, Nick Jonas, the international pop star, walked the streets of Chicago, completely unrecognizable. He wanted to know, would people still care about him if they didn't know who he was? It was around 9 a.m. when he walked past a bright bakery on West Belmont Avenue. The scent of freshly baked bread filled the air. His stomach growled he hadn't eaten since yesterday. Nervously, he approached a woman standing near the bakery door. She was wearing a sleek coat, sunglasses, holding an expensive handbag, and tapping angrily at her phone. He cleared his throat. "Excuse me, ma'am, I don't want to bother you, but I haven't eaten in a day. Could you spare some change? Or maybe help me get something warm from inside?" She looked up slowly, disgust written all over her face. "You people are everywhere," she snapped. "Why don't you get a job or something? This is harassment." Nick froze. Her voice was loud, too loud. People turned. Some shook their heads and kept walking. Others stared with judgment. But then, a soft voice cut through the noise. "Hey, are you okay, man?" Nick turned to see a young man, maybe in his early 20s with worn sneakers, a janitor's uniform, and a warm, tired smile. His name? Mason. Yeah, I'm all right, Nick replied. The woman rolled her eyes and scoffed. "Good luck saving that one. Probably on drugs." Mason looked at her with disappointment and said quietly, "You could have just said no." She stormed off, muttering about dirty strangers. Mason reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small wrapped sandwich. "I was going to eat this for lunch," he said, "but I think you need it more." Nick stared at it. "Are you sure? Positive? I've been there, man. I know what hungry feels like." Nick took the sandwich with trembling hands. "Thank you," he whispered. They sat on the curb. Mason didn't ask questions. He didn't take pictures. He didn't treat Nick like a beggar or a burden, just another human being. For Nick, that small moment of dignity meant more than the thousands screaming his name on stage. Later that day, Nick went back to his hotel. He showered, shaved, removed the fake beard, and stepped into one of the luxury SUVs waiting for him. He had a show to perform that night, sold out, thousands in attendance. But he had one stop to make first. At 8:30 a.m., the bakery doors opened again. Mason walked past, heading toward his janitor shift at the nearby elementary school. As he turned the corner, a black SUV pulled up beside him. A man stepped out, clean-cut, in a designer jacket, flanked by 2 security guards. Mason's eyes went wide. "Nick Jonas." Nick smiled. "Hey man, I've been looking for you." Mason stood frozen, confused. "You helped me yesterday. You didn't know who I was. You just cared." Mason stammered. "Wait, that was you." Nick nodded. "Yup, and I never forget people like you." Before Mason could reply, Nick handed him an envelope. Inside, $25,000, a full scholarship application, and a personal letter inviting him to work on Nick's charity for the homeless. Tears welled up in Mason's eyes. This changes everything." Nick smiled. "So did you." The twist, the woman returns. Just as they embraced, another voice chimed in from across the street. "Oh my God, Nick Jonas. I'm your biggest fan." It was her, the same woman who screamed at him just a day before. She ran up, phone in hand, angling for a selfie. Nick turned, stone-faced. "You don't remember me, do you?" The woman blinked. Have we met?" Nick pointed to Mason. "This man shared his only meal with me when you couldn't spare a moment of kindness." Her smile dropped. Mason looked down awkwardly. Nick turned back to her and said firmly, "Be the person who helps a stranger, not the one who turns them into one." Then he walked away. Fame doesn't make someone important. Compassion does. In a world full of selfies and status, always choose kindness. You never know who someone truly is until the masks come off.